Hello people of the YouTube, TWK here, and welcome to my stream of conscious style video on All Elite Wrestling Fight Forever 1 year later. And I've gotta tell ya, I think some people have been overly harsh on this game. Now, I know that's the popular thing to do nowadays, is to be overly harsh on All Elite Wrestling, whether they deserve it or not. However, I do believe that some criticism, not exactly done in the best of faith, and hopefully after watching this video, you'll see that the game is not the worst in the world. When it comes to re-examining this game, first, the gameplay. It's basically the classic AKI game controls, but given a modern twist. On top of the light and strong strikes and grapples, we also have a dedicated button for kicks, which, I'll be honest, am still not sure is necessary, but I don't hate it. Another change is the addition of signature moves, which can be performed anytime when your spirit meter is full. And of course, like any AKI game, once you have a full meter, just taunt, get into the proper position, hit that right stick, and watch your opponent get demolished. The gameplay style may not be everyone's cup of tea though, due to the fast-paced nature of the matches found in Fight Forever. They typically last about half as long as my average 2K matches, but in all fairness, all the promotional interviews I watched leading up to Fight Forever's release did state that it would be a more arcadey experience, and well, in my humble opinion, or I guess not so humble, depending on how you want to look at it, they delivered on that. Especially with all the animations being done by hand instead of motion captured as you usually see nowadays. One complaint that I can kinda understand are the entrances. They're pretty short. On the positive side, they don't outstay your welcome, you can control the camera angles, and you get to trigger the pyro, so all that is pretty rad. I will say that, if there is a sequel, it'd be nice to have just a few extra seconds. Personally, I don't need 90-second entrances, just give me like 15 to 20 seconds and I'll be more than happy. When it comes to the arenas, the one we have to select from are fine. You got Dynamite, Dark, Rampage, as well as the major pay-per-views. The DLC venues aren't too shabby either, although I would have liked to have seen something like Collision, All In, or Daily's Place added in. My favorite arena that we do have is easily the beach, especially during the day, straight out of early 90s WCW. The roster is also something not to be scoffed at either, especially after all the additions thanks to the downloadable content packs. With names like CM Punk, Swerve Strickland, Adam Cole, Adam Page, Adam Copeland, Abaddon, Hikaru Shida, Ruby Soho, and mother effing fucking Danhausen, you just can't go wrong. Oh, and as a free update, they added in the wholesome YouTube boys like CM Pulse, Macho T, Chris Danger, Tony the Pizza Guy, and Johnny fucking Blood! As someone who's been a fan of New Legacy Inc. for over a decade, this is surreal and makes Fight Forever 100% fucking worth it, motherfuckers! Goddamn, I'm swearing a lot here. And on behalf of the Blood Mang, can I just say how awesome it is that we have death matches in a relatively mainstream video game. Whether it's throwing someone onto thumbtacks or exploding goddamn barbed wire, this game's got the gift of gore. And props to the devs for giving us the proper explosion we were deprived of in the real-life version of this match. My only problems with the match types are 1. The only tag match option is 2 versus 2 normal rules, so boo on that, and 2. Ladder matches are 1 versus 1 only, so extra boo on that. The main creation mode I fucks with is the arena editor, and for our first outing it's more than what I was expecting. Still miles away from WWE's offering, but I'm still surprised we got the amount of options that we did considering this is game numero uno. Overall, I think I was able to create something decent for the sake of this video, although I have been showing off custom arenas for quite a bit in this here video already, but I still wanted to show off what I could do in a quick time span. One of the odd additions to Fight Forever are the minigames. They're fine and definitely more fun with friends, but certainly not something you're gonna go back to very often. Then again, I could be very much wrong, and there could very well be a group of people that would die on the hill that these games rule. I will say this, they got Mario Party's 9 and 10 beat if nothing else. Now, for the single player mode, Road to Elite! You get to play out an abridged year in the life of a wrestler in All Elite Wrestling, wherein you get to visit various diners, see landmarks, and of course engage in feuds with the default roster. I will say that the lack of DLC implementation into this mode is one of its bigger weaknesses. That and the fact that each story takes place over the course of 3 episodes of Dynamite, then a pay-per-view, which means these stories do not have the proper time to build before they conclude. That aside, it is still pretty fun to play through, especially anytime you get to interact with another wrestler during an activity. Overall, for me and just me personally, AEW Fight Forever did exactly what it needed to do, create a foundation from which they can build upon. The biggest strength is the core gameplay, and now that they have that, the devs over at Yuke's can add more bells and whistles and make something truly amazing. Here's hoping they get the chance, as their publisher THQ Nordic is a subsidiary of Embracer Group, so best of luck, Yuke's. Best of luck. And that's the video, everyone. Hope you all enjoyed it. And really, the one thing I want to come away with is the one sort of, I guess you'd call it some morale, for lack of better terminology, is the fact that a game does not have to be perfect to be good. Sometimes good is good enough. And if there are some improvements to be made here, for me, obviously, more match types. Duh, that would be nice. That would be rad. That would be quite amazing. Another thing would be, community creations. That's something we all want, and that's something that I believe was sort of kind of debated whether they wanted to add or not, but they didn't quite have the budget for, as THQ Nordic is a subsidiary of Embracer Group, as I discussed earlier in the video, and we don't need to go over the track record of Embracer Group now, do we? It'd be kind of a miracle if this game gets a sequel at all. Obviously, another thing they need to add is, of course, more arenas. That's another thing that would be nice. And just more in general. And maybe lack of focus on minigames. Maybe put those to the wayside and just focus on the core game. That would be nice. And just a bigger single-player mode. Do all that. And I think we could have an instant classic for Fight Forever 2 or wherever the sequel they want to be. Also, maybe add in some outside members of the roster like New Japan, CMLL, and Stardom. Like, could you imagine playing a video game featuring the likes of Micah, Starlight Kid, or Suzu Suzuki, or Azumi, or all the other members of the roster? Like, oh my goodness, like Koguma in a video game? Oh, that would be rad. Oh man. I'm just rambling at this point though. Thank you all for watching, and next time we're going to be taking a look at a wrestling video game that is truly, and I mean truly awful in every sense of the word. Except for maybe its roster. Join me for that, then. Until next time, hope you all have a perfect rest of your day.